What's up? I'm back. In this segment, we'll talk about Kundalini and being a healer. Being a healer is very interesting because it's not really a glamorous profession. It's kind of like it gets like you get like two different types of people's reactions when it comes to healing. First set of people, it's not glamorous at all. They're usually people who might be studying other types of spirituality. For them, healing tends to be kind of boring. They don't say it because it's not really cool to say it, but it doesn't really generate the other interest that other types of spirituality does. The second type of healer is the healer who just goes into it because they can't really understand more complex metaphysics, so they feel being a healer is easier, if that makes any sense. Both points of view or both mindsets are probably not correct, and both if you well, obviously the first mindset you probably wouldn't be a healer at all. But even the second mindset is probably not correct either because what happens is being a healer is something that's an honor, and it's a lot of times it's harder than regular metaphysics because with regular metaphysics metaphysics is with third dimensional beings. We obviously have more dimensions to us, but most people only have access to like a third dimensional perception. And when a third dimensional being meets a fifth dimension, somebody who has access to fifth dimensional perception, sixth dimensional perception, it's kind of hard for the third dimensional being to verify it. So the person can sound deep. So the person could be actually not the person could actually be another person who actually has third dimensional perception, but the ego is making up all the shit they're seeing, but you have no way of being able to tell. So in a sense, even being deep, you don't even know it because you're not sure if your own perception is actually correct. So you don't even know if the other person could read it because you don't even know about your own self. Being a healer is different because being a healer, you need hands-on experience. The first hands-on experience you comes from being able to heal yourself. Then the second hands-on experience being able to probably heal other people. It's not really something that you can fake. You can, but you probably won't be successful because everybody's body is different. So if you just read a book and then you think you can be a healer, and then you're gonna find out that sometimes some things may happen that don't go along according to the book. That's just being real. You can have some healers who talk about all that good stuff, but you have to be vegetarian, and then you get people who they got to eat a little meat sometimes based on their blood type. That does happen. So as a healer, you gotta be able to you gotta be able to stand on your toes, but usually being able to stand on your toes comes from experience. So in the spiritual community, you would always see people now talk about Kundalini and how it activates your superpowers. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of people making videos about telepathy. Um, activating your third eye. And these videos are like I like to say are more like spiritual fast food. Not saying it's bad, but the reason why healers are needed is because many people either follow these techniques and it doesn't work, or some people become more unstable when they follow these techniques. And that's partly because you gotta say, what is Kundalini? Kundalini is like an energy that's in your root chakra that's pent up like a snake, like a coil. And when it explodes, it could go all the way up to your spine and then totally transform you, right? Sounds simple, but in a sense, the way Kundalini was known to Indians kind of matches up with the snake energy of the shamanistic animist traditions of the indigenous peoples. In indigenous cultures, the shamans and animists knew, the witch doctors knew, that though the cat, the dog, the chicken, the horse, a few other animals too, domesticated animals, they were animals that became domesticated over time. The snake was known as a dangerous animal because if you weren't a shaman or alchemist, or magician, you probably shouldn't be using a snake. What does this mean? Well, kind of means the fact it's kind of going along with Kundalini. Kundalini is something that you have to be doing spiritual work to really begin to access, and you should always wait before you jump and try to access that. That happens because you got to understand the human body as we have it right now is not really it's not used to handling intense energies. This is why sometimes some people have these Kundalini explosions and they short circuit their brains. They go crazy or they just become unstable. Or they short circuit so much they don't feel anything and they get totally disassociated, totally disinterested in spirituality. It's because people don't really realize in the matrix we are all sick beings. And when I'm talking about healing, I'm talking about it from multi layers, not just food, but everything, emotionally, everything. You can't really begin to access that Kundalini unless you're healed. And a lot of us have emotional baggages that we refuse to address. This is the reason why They used to be saying in the Bible where I think Christ said to receive the keys of heaven, you must be like a child. Well, it's because children don't really have these emotional blockages. These emotional blockages just stop you from really being able to understand spiritual work or even be able to access energies. If you don't clean out the emotional blockages, you're not going anywhere. And in a lot of ways, becoming a healer is that. Is being able to hit yourself. Becoming a healer doesn't mean going out having clients. Becoming a healer in the initial stage becomes really you healing yourself and then probably maybe helping your friends and family first. If you just stay to that, technically you're not really a healer. You have healing ability. When you start healing, when you start going out there and healing other people, then that's different. Then you're taking on clients and a whole bunch of stuff like that, and that's different. Then you're a healer. But as a regular person, you can still not be technically a healer, but still know healing techniques to heal yourself. And this is one of the biggest tricks that people don't really realize, because when your ego is in charge, even when you think you're spiritual and you're going to be rushing to open your third eye, to activate your Kundalini, I mean, even alien information is kind of fast food. It's kind of like you want to take a ship. Back in the original days, you have to turn your body into Macabre to take a ship. Now, I mean, to ascend or to go to higher dimensions. Now you want to basically leave the planet by metal ships. All those things are fast food. Not bad, but in a sense, what happens is those are all signs of basically an unstable ego or unhealthy ego. Ego is not bad. Ego is only bad when it becomes unhealthy. And the only way to make yourself healthy is actually to learn some healing techniques and engage in a battle to basically heal your ego. That's where healing comes in. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's why, in a sense, I like to test people. Like, because, I talk about a lot of different subjects. And when they're only interested in certain subjects and they don't give a damn about healing, kind of shows the person's ego is in charge. And the whole goal of spirituality is to make a perfect marriage between your ego and your higher self, which is your true twin flame, the divine marriage. That's the whole purpose of spirituality, no matter what anybody tells you. And then you become a better person. Forget even ascension. Ascension comes later. Comes later. The first level is becoming a better person, being a more balanced person, being in a sense when you're more balanced, you then become an inspirational life of other people. That's what spirituality, the essence of metaphysics, really is. Because once that happens, you will start to learn about the environment beyond the third dimensional perception, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, even higher. Then all of a sudden, you know all that fancy metaphysical information. So Kundalini activation is almost deadly to somebody who's not healthy. Unfortunately, most of us in the matrix are not healthy. How many of us could say we eat? Every time we eat, we go to the bathroom. Come on. Some people are lucky if they go to the bathroom once a week. I mean, once a day. I'm sorry, once a week you're in trouble. Some people are lucky if they go once a day, right? So in essence, when we look at it, just like when the shamans will say only serious magicians should be handling the snake, which is kind of the Kundalini energy, or a magician or shaman, it's the same thing. When you become, the more awakened you become, and when you have experience, is when you should be actively trying to activate the Kundalini and get those superpowers that so many people want. Because you have to understand, there's superpowers like telepathy, intuition, X-ray vision, all that stuff you guys, telekinesis, all these people dream of. That is something that you get on the journey of becoming what you're supposed to become. If you start the journey for those powers, you will never get those powers. That's real talk, and that's being real. That's not somebody stroking ego. That's being real. All those Asian masters that you see of people shooting fire at their hands or whatever, look at them. They're almost always old men. They've been people who've been doing this for years. Not just somebody picking it up in the matrix and you read it, do a little mantra and do a little exercise, all of a sudden you can get telepathy. It doesn't work like that. Become a healer. And when I say become a healer, healing yourself first, because you're your first client. The first person you're going to heal yourself, then your friends, your family. Then if you decide to heal other people, then you become an official healer. But all of us have to learn some healing techniques, because at the end of the day, we all have a lot of things within ourselves we have to heal. And that's one of the first things that we all must address. And this is the reason why most of the time, most people don't get the spiritual powers that they want. Because at the end of the day, your body is not equipped to handle certain type of energy. That's why when you see healing systems, I'm not going to say certain by names, but you see healing systems which are more created in the new age. When you go to a retreat and in 3 days you become a master, or you learn, like you read a book, if even a book, like a lesson in 1 week or 2 weeks you become a master. That's not how it works. When you become a healer or even on the path, sometimes you got to take a sabbatical 6 months, 2 years, at least 6 months, get away from everybody and just meditate. Go in a cave, go in a mountain, go on a retreat, and just meditate and study. Work with your plants, meditate, get used to harnessing your energies. Make sure it transforms yourself. That's why it takes 2 years sometimes. You gotta make sure that you're able to transform yourself, and only then maybe you can start pushing energy into healing other people. And even then, one of the first things you don't learn, and this is why healers today have to know energy as well as diet. Why? Because you got to make sure when you use diet to heal, you can give that to anybody. When you use your own energy to heal, that's energy that's coming from within you, but it's actually going from the highest source. Like the source is actually pushing energy through you. You become the instrument. Can't heal everybody like that. That's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people don't realize. That's how you know a lot of these modern day healers, they're just taking pieces of it and just giving it to people as fast food. Can't heal, you can't go around healing everybody like that if you could heal with energy. You could use diet, yes, but energy, no. The energy that's coming is coming from the source. What happens when people use energy and heal anybody? If you notice, they start losing their gift. That's the reason why. So Kundalini is that awakening serpent that allows you to use the energy or to heal, telepathy, or the other type of stuff. But you must first go through extreme internal transformations for that to happen. A lot of people don't want to address that, and they're just feeding you fast food. Hope I answered that question about Kundalini from Jeff from Australia. Till next time, peace.